Okay, so welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at leverage, and this is a part of the script that starts to give your client a psychological edge that's going to make it easier for them to create that unconscious change. And so here's a quick overview where we're going to look at a number of different areas within the leverage, and it's not a large component of the script, yet it is still something that's quite necessary as we'll go through as to what it does. We're going to start with looking at the pain pacing. So we're looking at bringing up some of the pain from the past, some of the pain in the present moment, and looking at some potential pain that's being caused by the future. Looking at some negative impacts that are created by the problem. And then finally, we're kind of, we're stirring up a little bit of pain here through the leverage. And then what we're going to do is just kind of like put a cork in that bottle of pain, so to speak, by reinforcing the fact that they have decided to make the change. And so that pain is no longer going to stay with them. But look, pain is useful. It is a motivator for people, for a lot of people, to create changes in behavior. Most people wait until they get some bad news from somebody, and that creates so much pain that then it gives them the leverage to change their behavior. You might have known someone in your own life that may have been eating unhealthy foods or not exercising until they get given some really bad messages or a bad diagnosis from a doctor, for example. And so that gives them enough pain to go, you know what, I need to really look at my lifestyle and start to change it. So ideally what you're trying to do is assist your client throughout this part by drawing their focus onto some of the pain. We don't want to spend too much time in that sort of pain area, but we do want to delve into it just a little bit to give them that psychological edge to create the change. So firstly, what we're going to look at is, to increase the client's moving away from motivation. And the way we increase someone's moving away from motivation is looking at what missed opportunities have happened from the past. How has it been painful for them in the past? How's this problem caused them to miss out on opportunities, and how's it caused them challenges in the past? Then to look at the present as well. So we're now starting to focus on how's that stopping you right now? What are you missing out on right now? Moving into the future. And so if you continue to have this problem, how's that going to affect you? What are you going to miss out on? How's your health? How's your finances? How's your relationships going to be in the future if you continue to have this problem? And then, like I said, finally, we're going to just reinforce the fact that they have made that positive decision to change it all today. Now, we're going to start by looking at the past. And an example of, bringing your client's awareness to the past, like you've got on the screen there, is I wonder if you know all about the negative effects associated with this problem. Think about how this problem has affected your life in the past. And I'm curious if you can remember some opportunities that you may have missed out on because of this problem. All those moments and experiences you missed out on because of this problem. And so what you're doing there is you're just creating some internal representations for the client, just to start to bring into their awareness the things that have caused them some pain in the past, further increasing their leverage. Okay, so moving on to the present pain, this example that I've listed here is a little bit dynamic in as far as it has some place markers to add some more content to. And so this is a bit of a template that I've been using in a lot of the scripts that I've written in the past that I've come up with, that I just sort of fill in the blanks a little bit and sort of add a bit more detail to it. And so the example you've got on the screen there is this problem can cause you all sorts of challenges, such as, insert the challenges there, and it also affects, and you list a few of the other impacts that problem creates. And this problem prevents you from, and list a few other impacts or challenges that what does it actually prevent them from doing? And this problem also affects others as well as it, and then list how it impacts other people around them. And so even though on the screen it looks like a very short few sentences, that can actually fill up quite a bit when you've got some insight from some of the previous exercises you've done, where you've collected some data and some information, where you can start to list how this problem actually impacts other people, how it impacts people around them, how it impacts them directly. And so you can start to flesh that out quite a bit. Then we'll also look at the future pain and what sort of pain's being created in the future for them. And so an example of doing that would be this. Imagine what your life 3 years in the future is like. What will your life be like if this problem persists? What other opportunities will you have missed out on? How has this problem affected your health? How has this affected your relationships? How has it affected your finances? And so what we're doing here is we're just getting them to focus their awareness on what their life would be like X number of years, whatever it might be, in the future if they continue to have that problem. And then we're just drawing their focus even more specifically as to how does it affect your health? How does it affect your relationships? How does it affect your finances? And then what we've done at that point is we have really developed their leverage. And this might be reminiscent of the Dickens story, A Christmas Story, I think it's called. And in which he's, was it Scrooge, I think it is, Ebenezer Scrooge is visited by 3 ghosts. He's visited by the ghost of Christmas past, visited by the ghost of Christmas present, I think it is, and visited by the ghost of the Christmas future. It's been a while since I've read the story, so I'm just going from memory here, so I might not have the terms exactly correct, but hopefully you understand what I'm getting at here, where that developed enough leverage for Ebenezer Scrooge to change his ways, and then the following day he went out and became a lot more generous and gave food and I guess assisted I think a disabled boy to have a better Christmas. And so that's sort of similar to what we're doing here, is we're looking at the past, present, and future. And in a way where we're looking at the pain that's created by having the problem, so it develops enough leverage for them to create a change. Now, once we've done that, what we want to do is reinforce with giving them some positive motivation here that they actually have made a decision to change that. So that pain is no longer going to be with them. And as it says, the aim of this component of the script is to refocus the client to the positive and develops that moving towards motivation. And an example to really reinforce that is this. It's time for a change, to change your attitude and your behavior. So congratulations for making that decision today. And because of this wonderful change in your attitude that you have now made, you find that life is more and more rewarding. Your job to stay happy and healthy will be much, much easier. It is true, yes, you are really changing now. And as you begin to feel even more relaxed, your future is also beginning to change. So that's an example of how to really reinforce the fact that they have made that positive decision, to leave our client with that positive taste in their mouth, so to speak. We're starting to go, you know what, we've dealt with the pain, we're now moving to the positive. You should feel great the fact that you have made that decision to create this change today. Now you'll notice some of the language patterns, so the hypnotic language patterns are used within that, and I highly encourage you to continue to use your language patterns as much as you can now that your client is under trance. And so that gives you some insight into the leverage component of the script, where we're really trying to develop a bit of pain, focusing on the past, the present, the future, looking at the negative impacts that's created by the problem, and then reinforcing the fact that they have made that positive decision to create a change today. Now, what I'd like you to do is put all that information into practice, turn that knowledge into absolute power by taking action on it. So again, hopefully you've chosen a topic or a problem. What I'd like you to do now is to write a short paragraph focusing the client on A, the negative impacts this problem has caused them in the past, B, the negative impacts this problem is currently causing them and causing to other people around them, C, a future moment and how this unresolved problem causes them even more negative impacts, and also think about focusing their attention on a specific area of life, such as relationships, money, or even health. And then finally, D, to write a short paragraph focusing on the fact that the client has decided to make this change, that they've decided to resolve the problem, leaving them with a positive feeling about that decision. Now, again, it should only take you about 10 to maybe 20 minutes at most to do this. It should probably be no more than maybe 500 words in total. And look, I would love to hear from you. Love for you to fill out the comment box below here. If you've got any questions, please feel free to just leave them in the comment box and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And in the next lesson, we're going to be looking at goal setting.